Rosemary's Baby is really I think one of the most remarkable films of the year. I think it's the reaction to it, and it's certainly a giant step for you as a director. It has a number of scenes in it that I'm sure, in this country at least, half a dozen years ago, couldn't have been filmed. Do you think that this trend that we see going on now towards more frankness, more boldness related to sex is going to continue?
Well, I think so, at least for some period of time, because within civilization, these things somehow comes back and goes away again.
In cycles?
I mean, yeah, in cycles. I mean, people were walking naked already in different civilizations, which were not very primitive. And I don't think that a few years ago you couldn't see things like that on a screen, but you couldn't walk in the mini dress either. I mean, not so far ago, how many years ago?
I was arrested on a train.
Where?
Going to Italy when we were shooting. And I was in a compartment with the windows closed, you know, and my dress was like to here. I said, if you stop opening the windows and looking, I said, you wouldn't even know I had a short dress on.
That's incredible.
It was 3 years ago, but you were arrested here for wearing bikini on the
It's hard to realize, as a matter of fact, America was so far behind Europe. I think not until 3 or 4 years ago did the bikini really gain acceptance on public beaches. Now, nudity, I think, is something that in America particularly, we've always had a hang-up about. Sex has become more permissive in films and in books, etc. But really, only in the last year or two has nudity made any real appearance in the U.S. films.
Yeah, in America.
How does an actress as beautiful as you are, how do you feel about doing nude scenes in a film?
Well, I feel that if it's a real scene and it's an honest scene, and if it's something where you're stripped naked, that you would be doing naturally, you know, making love, which is natural, taking a bath, you know, that's lovely, you know.
In other words, if it has an authentic
legitimate
reason
reason for it, it's beautiful. But if it's contrived, you know, then it becomes vulgar.
I've always had the feeling, to some extent, that the rationale of the legitimacy of nudity in a film is a sort of hangover from the old notion that nudity needs an excuse. Something contrived in a film, of course, is artificial and poor just because it is contrived. But it's amazing how many real hang-ups in our Puritan society we do have related to sex and to nudity especially.
Well, this is very Puritan society, you must realize, and that's how it grew up. That's the way it took. But speaking about films and the reasons for nudity, since me personally, I'm interested in rather realistic pattern of the movie, even if I'm telling an absolutely unrealistic story. I avoid nudity for nudity or sex for sex. Yet, in a different kind of picture, I don't have anything against it. Basically, I have nothing against any sex and nudity in any form of art or literature, because I don't think it can make any harm to anybody.
How do you feel about violence in films?
Well, I don't feel that violence can make any harm to anybody either. And I think that this sudden awakening of some of producer circles in Hollywood, etc., and sudden violence against violence is just the bad feeling that they have about the things which are happening in this society, and they are looking for some little phony excuse. I do not believe that any violence on television or cinema screen can inspire violence. I don't think that I don't believe in the idea monkey see, monkey do, you know.
Many sociologists, as a matter of fact, seem to feel today that scenes in films or TV can actually act as a catharsis, can actually relieve the tensions.
I'm positive. I tell you what I think is really dangerous, and what kind of violence can inspire violence It's the sterilized, the Hollywood type of violence. I mean, in typical Hollywood Western, they excite you during an hour and a half. They tease you against this bad man who beats everybody, and he's so nasty, and you can't stand him anymore. And in the last moment, the good man with white heart comes and draws and bumps him off without any blood. It's a very clean job. And somehow, subconsciously, from the kid, it develops in your brain idea that when somebody bothers you, you can take judgment upon them, and very easy you can get rid of them without any blood, without convulsions, without vomiting, without... I saw war, I saw violence, I saw all of the things that didn't make me more violent. I can't stand blood, I can stand blood in film because I know it's pain, etc. And this is an amusement for me to do violent scenes. But I do not believe that it can inspire violence. Besides, you know, suddenly they say that this is so popular, you know, that film is such a medium that reaches everybody. But violence without our society has an old history. In any Catholic school, you see a man nailed to a cross with blood dripping from his side and from his head. You see the whole, when the most popular book, especially in this country, is the Bible, when every second page you have unbelievable descriptions of violence, you know, and so I do not believe that suddenly cinema can make a little bit more.
And nudity as well.
Well, one of the things that's amazed me in the point of view of the censor is the way that so often sex and violence are linked together. And it's always seemed to me that violence and hate were on the one extreme as the evils of the world, and that sex and love existed on the other extreme and were the things that make life worthwhile.
This is right. Well, here is one area that I believe can be sometimes harmful for the society. It's connection of violence and sex.
I agree.
You know, because I don't believe that the violence itself can inspire violence, but sex certainly does inspire sex. Watching sex on the screen. When you put those two things together, you can have a desire.